Hello guys, as promised, here we are with the Tokyo Dawn Records SlickEQ, and this is the GE, which is Gentleman's Edition, meaning it's the paid for edition rather than the free one. I thought it best to show you the full version. The stripped back free version has a couple of things taken away from it, and we'll discuss that shortly. Guys, if these videos are helpful for you, please bang a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you've got questions, comment down below. I do my best to get back to absolutely everybody. So what we're going to do is have a look at this beautiful EQ here and go over some of the cool features and things that are buried in it. It looks relatively simple, but it is actually a very complex EQ with a lot of features buried into it. So firstly, what we're going to be working on is this track here.
Man on a mission, listen while you wish your life away, you only get one chance to hit, so why you try.
And we are just going to work on the KS and BS bus, which is these bits here. Oof, my CPU has been hammered there, but we're gonna persevere. We're gonna maintain and keep going. So, quick thing to note: if you go and grab the free version of this, yes, there is a free version from the Tokyo Dawn website. You're effectively going to get this purple section here with a couple of the filter options missing, but essentially that's it. You've got the whole EQ. What will be missing for you would be some of the slightly more interesting things that we're going to be able to take a look at in a moment. For example, display. And the display has also got an analyzer built into it as well. Very useful, very nice, easy analyzer with a couple of different options. The max hold points, for example. We're going to leave that off because, as we've seen, my CPU is just tickling the top percentages there. So that's a useful thing to have built in straight away. And when we start applying EQ curves and things like that, we'll also see that it engages that, and we can see exactly what's happening with those curves. And then when we change the parameters, we can see the differences there as well. Okay. Now those are some very useful little things. There is also an EQ saturation built in, which varies depending on the different models and gives a little bit of non-linearity character to the sounds that are going into it. Now on the GE edition, we've got these extra bits at the bottom here. Key thing being a tilt filter. A tilt filter allows us to shift the EQ balance at a point like we can see happening on the screen here. It's really useful in mastering stage if you just want to tilt the entire balance to perhaps brings the high end out or perhaps bring the low end back up, depending what you need. Another beautiful thing about these EQs, a single click on any parameter and you can enter your values manually. So for example, we could now change our center to 100 Hertz if we so wished. No, we can't because 300 is the lowest. But there we go, that was a key example. The filters need to be turned on as such. That's going to be one of the ones that is missing. You do not have your high pass filter on the free versions. You do not have your low pass filter on the free versions. But we're going to now look at this main section, and that is completely available for you in a free option. And you know what, if you like it, it's not expensive. I'd suggest going and grabbing it and supporting this great independent company. Not a paid advertisement. The guys just threw me the plugins as a freebie for making a set of videos for them, which was very generous of them. So let's have a little look and listen and compare between some of these different sounds and options we've got here. So by default, American is going to be loaded up, and that is the purple option. And you'll notice when you change parameters, everything changes in coordination with the color, nice and uniform across there. So some key things to note about each type. So what we can do, we put the little question mark on here, and what this does is show us some key things that are happening when we highlight things. Really great for learning the EQ. If we put that over where it says American, it will show us what's going on differently. So we've got American, classy and gentle slopes. proportional Q. If you don't know what proportional Q is, it basically means when you boost, it keeps the Q nice and wide and smooth, and when you cut, it narrows off that Q. The British one is slightly steeper curves. I'm guessing that's aimed at the SSL, because the SSL's got that sort of profile, and the asymmetric cut boost and proportional Q as well on the E channel. German then has the tilt shelf filters and very large linear shelves. Soviet is then unique inverse proportional curves, so sort of an inverse proportional Q thing going on there. And Japanese is sharp filter shapes optimized for precise corrective equalization. Basically, that's your cut EQ for taking out sibilances and things like that. So let's take that back off and let's have a little listen. So when I listened to this a second ago, it was quite harsh on the high end. So if you have a listen, maybe you'll agree with me. And I've even boosted that up to make that even more so. So I think maybe we'll go, say, British, and we'll dip that down just a touch there. Just say 1.5 decibels. We'll see what difference that gives us. Yeah, that's quite nice. Let's just compare the other models here and maybe take the saturation off. Okay, that's nicer than the German straight away. That really is taking some of the high end away. And let's try the Soviet with that really steep roll off. No, that's too obvious. Oh, those underruns are killing me. Alright guys, I'm going to freeze some of the channels on this track and then we'll come back to exactly where we were here. Okay guys, so that's better there. So we've dipped a little bit off. We decided on the British, which has got a very different slope, a very slightly different slope. You can see the change there when we go between the two. Now that impact of that piano note's a little bit much, and maybe you could tackle that with compression. However, let's see what we can do with the compressor, with the EQ here. We put the analyzer on, let's see where that's going. So it's really hanging around here, okay? So we're looking sort of around, what, 300? Let's take you to here, and let's dip you out ever so slightly. Let's just A-B that. I quite like that, and I like the way it's pushed the other areas up as you've taken it out. It's a real analog trait, that, to then give a boost at the cut-off points on the slopes. Let's just try it with the saturation on and off. Yeah, that saturation's adding a bit of detail into the piano. I quite like what that's doing. Now, something else the SlickEQ has is this outstage. So we have a few different things here: linear, silky, mellow, deep, excited, toasted, and funky. And what this does is also apply to the non-linearity stage, giving sort of an EQ profile from different EQs. It doesn't specify which ones, but we can have a listen to them and you can just find a profile you like. It's a really nice thing to do when you're working on buses like we are here, because you can then hear a difference between all those tracks that's very subtle. It gives them their own sort of sound and profile. So just have a listen to Silky, and then we'll just tap through them. I like the way the piano's ringing off a bit more with the deep one there. And that affects the brass nicely. And we can slam these as well with the calibration and really push them up to ridiculous levels. That just catches a really nice bit of the piano that rings off. It almost gives like that penny drop sound. Take it back down to 6 though. I think the last thing we'll do here is just roll off some low end. That's quite nice just there. That's given a bit more focus to the sound. So let's just A-B that totally. So off and in. Guys, that is just a quick overview of the SlickEQ there. If you want to see more of it and you want to hear all the different parameters, I'm happy to do a video. Just leave a comment down below and pop a like on the video. I would recommend you go and download the free version. I will link that in the description and just try it out for yourself, but more than happy to do a demo of all of them if you guys want to like the video and throw me a comment down the bottom. I shall see you on the next video, guys. Thank you very much for watching.